What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Sunshine Cup, and then today I'm showcasing a team that pushed me very close to 2950 in the Go Battle League, getting extremely close to Legend with this team, and it is Swampert, and then Furret on the safe swap, and then a Shadow JUMPLUFF running the double flying moveset in the back. Now most teams that lead Swampert have some sort of anti-grass in the back, like a fire type, but I'm kind of going for a potential surprise factor with the JUMPLUFF in the back. These battles were extremely sweaty, a lot of them very close, and so let's jump right into these battles and show you how I handle some different situations here. As always, if you appreciate the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Quagsire in the lead is exactly what we want to see. We do not want our JUMPLUFF to be aligned with that. Because they immediately swap out, I can throw this Hydro Cannon right away, and then I'm going to safely mirror with my own Furret. They are running Brick though, so this makes things a little bit more uncomfortable for me. I can't really farm up too much here. Just gonna throw the Swift immediately. Down goes the Furret. Out comes Quagsire once again, and they're going to build up as much energy as they can, but even with this defense spell, you cannot Poison Sting down this Furret before it really does a big chunk of damage to the Quagsire. Perfect counting on their part right before I reach another Swift. They throw the Sludge Bomb. Swampert obviously has very favorable alignment here. And they actually go for Mega Horn, which is a very interesting choice of charge move, but I actually encountered this a number of different times while playing with this team. A Water Gun, Quagsire in the back, and they actually no-shielded that first move, which was insane to me, because that could have been Acrobatics, it could have been an Energy Ball, but they just opted to no-shield. And actually at this point, the opponent is recognizing that it's pretty much game over, because I also no-shielded a potential Aqua Tail bait from them and were able to take that game. Acid Credilli in the lead. This is pretty uncomfortable, but honestly, I need to make sure that my JUMPLUFF doesn't see this. So I'm able to get one Hydro Cannon through, and then that is in a health range that is much more manageable for me. They do debuff me with Rock Tomb, which is pretty annoying, but I can throw this other Hydro Cannon and see what they want to do. They let that go through. I'm immediately going to go into my Furret to try to snipe this down. I'm hoping I caught a Grass Knot, and I do, so I'm not debuffed. Really good for me. And out comes Mag Cargo. This is exactly what I needed to have happen, because I need to guarantee that my JUMPLUFF doesn't have to see this Mag Cargo. And they are trying to farm me all the way down, but I'm going to be able to get a last second Swift off on this thing. I actually get a shield, them potentially thinking that that was a Trailblaze. But they're going to go for double Rock Tomb against me. I do not want to get hit by another charge move. I'm just going to throw this Hydro Cannon immediately and see what they want to do. They end up shielding that, so now I'm in a really awkward spot. I need this Mud Shot damage, but out comes a Swampert. I immediately switch out. Shadow Swampert against Shadow JUMPLUFF. Two Sludges are going to be enough to knock me out, but this Acrobatics should be enough to knock out the Swampert as well. Even though it only hits for neutral damage, super strong hitting move. If they come back in with that Mag Cargo, I'm able to reach an Aerial Ace before the second Incinerate actually registers the damage. Down goes Mag Cargo, out comes the Credilli once again. We're able to Fairy Wind it down and take the game there. Good game. Swampert into Quagsire. What is the fast move? They are running Water Gun. So it takes them about 6 of my Mud Shots to reach an Aqua Tail. So we do outpace, but they are doing more fast move damage. Now because I have JUMPLUFF in the back, I can't ever stay in kind of a neutral lead matchup like that against a water type in the lead, because there it is. There's most likely going to be a fire type in the back, some sort of anti-grass in the back that I need to get on the field and allow my Furret and Swampert to be able to soften it up a little bit to hopefully have my JUMPLUFF have play in the back. They let that go through, and I can safely bring out my Swampert to Mud Shot this down. They do go for Overheat, which is a smart play, does a lot of damage. Out comes the Swampert, and in the back is a Piloswine. This is not great. The Powder Snow damage is hitting for double super effective on my JUMPLUFF here. I go straight for the acrobatics to see what they want to do, and it gets shielded. So prime example of where if I would have baited there, that would have been really favorable for me. But when they no shield the bait, it always feels bad, and I can safely reach 2 acrobatics anyway, so this was the safer play. They thought that I was going to go for the combo play there, but I actually stayed in. They swapped, and now I have my Swampert that I can safely take out their Quagsire, and then should be able to mudshot down their Piloswine and barely take that game. That was extremely close. Good game. Swampert into Furret. This lead is kind of awkward. And most of the time, people that run Furret in the back, they do have some sort of a Mudboy in the back to provide them with some Blaziken coverage. But I never really want to stay in that matchup. I always want to pivot into Furret and potentially try to get a shield advantage or start to see what they might have in the back. So Wigglytuff is a Blaziken answer, but there could still be a Mudboy in the back, and if that's the case, my Jumpluff is going to have lots of play. I can let this go down. I got the Wigglytuff extremely low, but that Furret has a lot of energy. Going to bring out my Swampert, and if they bring out Furret, I can try to catch something on my Jumpluff. They actually bring out a Quagsire, Water Gun Quag, and they're staying in for so long. I'm totally fine with this. I will shield up this move, and they're actually running Sludge Bomb. Very unique moveset there that would hit for super effective damage. They don't shield the Aerial Ace. Again, that could have been an Energy Ball. It could have been an Acrobatics, but they are just making insane calls. This Furret throws both of the charge moves, and I lose CMP on the second one, so this is getting very uncomfortable here. Just going to go for another Aerial Ace. I do get a shield. And once again, they force a CMP tie, and I lose it. But I'm hoping that I can farm up a ton of energy with Swampert. I'm going to commit to the Mudshot down, and then that way I will have 2 Hydro Cannons to be able to handle their Quagsire. Out comes the Quagsire. Gonna throw 1 Hydro Cannon here, and I know Swampert does win CMP against Quagsire. So if they end up having the Aqua Tail, I'd be able to win that CMP tie. Down goes Quagsire, and we are able to Mudshot down the Furret and take that game. Very close. Swampert into Breloom. Breloom, holy core breaker. Force Palm Breloom. This thing would absolutely shred my Furret, but luckily it's only hitting for neutral damage on my Swampert. The Sludge would hit for super effective damage and probably one-shot Breloom with how glassy it is. I will commit 1 shield here, and they're going for Dynamic Punch. Now, if there's a Fire type in the back, this is going to be sketchy, but I'm going to go straight for a hard swap into my Jumpluff, and they don't have a super hard counter to my Jumpluff when I'm up a shield like this. So I was able to get the shield advantage. I land the Acrobatics on the Cordillera. We always have to shield this up. The Acid Fast move is hitting for super effective damage, and Rock Tomb would do tons of damage here. I farm up as much as I can. Then I'm going to throw another Acrobatics and see what they want to do. Breloom has a lot of energy. What do they have in the back? They actually end up bringing out their Breloom. I'm barely not able to get to an Aerial Ace here. They go for the Dynamic Punch, and even though it's resisted, that does so much damage. It is a Mudboy in the back, so I need to farm up as much as I can with my Furret without getting hit by a Hydro Cannon from the Swampert, because I should be able to reach a charge move before the Furret can reach a charge move, and this should be enough to knock out the Breloom and take that game. Wow, what a crazy team comp. Almost destroyed me there. Shadow Flygon in the lead. So people that run Flygon in the lead, there's like a 100% chance that there's going to be a Fire type in the back, so I cannot stay in this matchup. I'm going to get a shield advantage and then pivot out. They're going to throw some energy into my Furret. Going to let this go through. It's just a Dragon Claw. And out comes their own Furret. So Flygon, Furret, I'm still thinking that there is a Fire type in the back, and that's going to be tough for my Jumpluff to deal with. They allow me to get 2 charge moves off on this Furret, and puts it in a more manageable health range. I'm kind of hard predicting that it is a fire type in the back and hoping that energy advantage JUMPLUFF is going to be my win condition here. But these Swifts are really adding up. Able to farm it down. And sure enough, there's a Talonflame. I should have thrown 2 Fairy Winds before queuing up this Acrobatics, so that's a big misplay. Out comes Flygon once again. I will shield this up. And then throw 1 Mud Shot, queue up the Hydro Cannon, and see what they want to do here. They are going to shield that up, and I get farmed down, but I have to commit to the farm down on this Flygon. I need to be able to reach an Acrobatics, and I'm barely able to get there. Honestly, if I would have just thrown 2 Fairy Winds the first time, this would have been a even more comfortable endgame, but we were able to take that no matter what and win that game there. Good game. Obstagoon in the lead, kind of awkward neutral lead. Obviously, it's great that my Furret doesn't have to see this, but Furret doesn't really like hard counter anything in this meta, so not sure how much true value it's going to have in the back. I will shield up this first charge move and see what they want to do. People that lead Obstagoon are obviously extremely weak to Blaziken, so there could be a Mud Boy in the back, which means that my JUMPLUFF would have a lot of play. But then they would also be ABA weak to JUMPLUFF. So gonna let this Night Slash go through, able to reach another Hydro Cannon here and see what they want to do. They end up double shielding and giving me a shield advantage. I'm gonna farm them all the way down with JUMPLUFF, so if it is a fire type, I will be able to get a lot of damage off. If they have a Magcargo in the back, that would be absolutely terrible. It is a Skeledirge. And I'm going to throw this Acrobatics and see what they want to do. Going to queue up this Aerial Ace here, and this should be enough to knock out the Skeledirge. Down it goes. In the back is a Quagsire. Things are looking great for us. I can go straight for the Acrobatics, and then obviously go straight into my Furret, safely reach a Swift, and that should be a good game. And we are able to take that. Good game. Swampert into Clodsire. This is exactly what we want to see. They swap Furret, the most common safe swap in the game. We can easily go for a Hydro Cannon chip here. And when they let it go through like that, it's so much safer to just mirror with your own Furret. They are running Brick Break again, so that is annoying because we can't farm up more in this matchup. Have to throw my Swift immediately. And once again, if they come in with the Clodsire like they do, they cannot farm us all the way down. Gonna go for the Trailblaze to start ramping up my Sucker Punch damage. And they allow me to get to this Swift and actually throw on a CMP tie. Definitely a mistake from the opponent there. This gets them much lower health, and now this is kind of wasted energy. But what are they gonna have in the back? Again, it looks like they're running Mega Horn. I will respect that damage. In the back is a Shadow Quagsire, but I am down a shield. Gonna go for yet another Aerial Ace bait, and of course my opponent doesn't shield it. I cannot believe how many opponents just no-shielded the bait when they have 2 shields in the end game there. I do correctly shield up the Stone Edge, and honestly at this point, my Swampert is looking pretty nice. I can rip off both of these Aerial Aces and see what they want to do. I have been over farming the whole time, so is my opponent keeping track of my energy? No. I'm able to reach the Aerial Ace and actually surprise them with how fast I got to this charge move. And at this point, there's nothing their Clodsire can do, and we can take that game there. Good game. Another Flygon in the lead. There's always going to be a fire type in the back. We cannot stay in this forever. But I throw Hydro Cannon on good timing, and then regardless of what they do, we're gonna go for it. Oh my gosh, a Steelix in the back. This is crazy. They are running Dragon Tail, Shadow Steelix, and they go immediately for the Psychic Fangs. I'm gonna go for the Trailblaze here, hit from neutral damage and ramp up my Sucker Punch damage, see what they want to do. They let that go through. And then I'm able to reach another Trailblaze here. I actually end up shielding that, so I have 2 shields, but they have a Steelix with loaded energy, and they still have that Flygon. If it's a fire type in the back, this is once again going to be very uncomfortable for me, especially if it's a Magcargo. Gonna shield up that first Psychic Fangs and then catch this second Psychic Fangs on my Jumpluff here so I don't have to use a shield. But what do they have? It is an Alolan Marowak, and the Fire Spins are really chunking my Jumpluff here. Able to go for the Acrobatics. Again, hits for so much damage. And then I'm able to reach the Aerial Ace. This should be able to knock them out. I still have my Swampert. I have a shield, but their Flygon has energy. This was a misplay on my part. I should have thrown a Mud Shot before queuing up the Hydro Cannon because that was not enough damage to knock them out. I have to shield this up and hope that that Mud Shot KOs. Luckily it does, and we're able to tap down the Steelix and win that game anyways, but that was very scary at the end there. Jumpluff in the lead is not great at all. I immediately go into my Furret, and I just need to get like any chip damage off on this thing I can because we do not have a hard counter to this Pokemon. They go straight for Aerial Ace, and then they're going to bring out Magcargo. So I'm hoping I can get a shield advantage. That's all I can hope for in this matchup because switch advantage is not going to be beneficial. Or they could just throw their energy extremely early like that. That is totally fine by me. Now my Swampert can get a massive farm on this Magcargo. They do barely reach a charge move, unfortunate. And they go for the Overheat, so at least they don't debuff me. They bring out the Jumpluff again. I immediately go for the Sludge. This will probably put them in Aerial Ace range if they let it go through. Aerial Ace plus a lot of Fairy Wind damage. They're throwing another Aerial Ace here. If it's another Fire type in the back, I'm so screwed. It's actually a Diggersby. I'm going to go straight for the Acrobatics on this first charge move and see what they want to do. They actually allow that to go through. So that puts us in a much better spot here, but these Fire Punches are really going to get sketchy. Going for the Acrobatics again and seeing what they want to do. They end up shielding that, and it was a CMP tie once again. I'm going to let this go through. I do survive that Fire Punch. I'm going to immediately swap into my Swampert. Out comes the Jumpluff. I'm really hoping I can reach 2 Sludges here. They shield that first one, and they are committing to farming me down with their Jumpluff. This is so bad for me. I cannot Mud Shot them down. But they end up throwing energy because they lost track of my energy. Their Wincon was definitely committing to the farm down there, and now I can shield ones, farm them down, and then barely going to be able to reach an Acrobatics to knock out this Diggersby right on the CMP tie. Down goes the Diggersby, and we're able to tap down their Jumpluff and barely win that game. That was so close. Good game. Swampert into Shadow Obstagoon this time. One Hydro Cannon never one-shots an Obstagoon even when it's Shadow like this. But again, it's always good that the Furret does not have to see this thing. Swampert tends to have the most value on this team, so the shields normally get spent there. I'm always throwing this Hydro Cannon like right before they get their move because I want to see what they want to do. They end up shielding that. And at this point, I'm actually going to commit to double shielding, farming them down. They swap in Quagsire. And this water gun damage really did a number on me. They end up shielding that. I can swap into my Jumpluff. Is Acrobatics enough to knock out this thing? I think it might just be barely enough because it's a Shadow. Holy cow, that Stone Edge did so much damage. Also, they're ABA weak to Jumpluff, so most likely whatever they have in the back is going to be a very hard counter to Jumpluff. Not good. This is very scary. Going to bring out the Furret here. And they're farming up so much, and then they randomly catch on their Obstagoon. Amazing play. Now I need to be able to make a catch on my Swampert. I make the catch. Did they throw a big move? Yes, they threw Energy Ball, so now I need to reach this Swift. Swift is not going to be able to knock out, though. Is this Abomasnow? Add another Energy Ball? No, but I'm barely able to tap them down with Sucker Punch and take that game. Insane game! Good game. Another Furret in the lead. Again, we can never stay in here. I mean, you can stay in here if you want. I tend to not want to stay in here because I don't want to have to commit an early shield. This opponent actually ended up shielding the first move. I'm still going to make a catch on my Furret regardless. Out comes JUMPLUFF, and I do have a shield advantage. This is exactly what I need to be able to handle an opposing JUMPLUFF. Now, if they go for the big move against my Furret here, it might be worth shielding. I'm actually just going to let this go through. They do go for the acrobatics. I have the shield advantage still. And I am banking on the fact that there might be a Mud Boy in the back. So I actually end up bringing my Swampert out onto this JUMPLUFF. They go for acrobatics again. And then they combo play me with Furret. Really nice play, but I knew this was just going to be a Swift. I need to chip them with this Hydro Cannon to make it a little bit more manageable here. And they shield that Hydro. I'm going to bank a Hydro, swap into my JUMPLUFF, and they should be at a health range where acrobatics should be able to knock them out. And again, I'm still banking on the fact that there could be a Mud Boy in the back. I cannot get too greedy here. The Sucker Punch and Swift damage is really adding up. Going to throw the acrobatics here and knock out this Furret and then see what they want to do. Down goes Furret. What is in the back? Out comes JUMPLUFF. And I'm actually going to store a lot of energy here because I have that Hydro Cannon banked. Shield up the Aerial Ace, farm up even more, knock them out with this Aerial Ace, and what is in the back? Yes, it is a Quagsire, Mudshot Quagsire, going to go straight for the acrobatics and combo play with the Swampert on the Hydro Cannon to be able to win this game. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. Best of luck with your battles, and I will see you in the next video.